the day again. And so, yeah. And so I've been probably consciously aware of that for about maybe 6 months. And so it seems to me that it's calling you to be consciously aware that that's happening, so that you are you're more powerful when you're just aware of what's going on, and we can connect. Like when I had COVID that first day, and I was outside grounding, just laying in the grass in the sun, and I said, oh, I need to call someone to like guide me for a minute. And then James popped up in my head, and before this picture is even gone, he was calling me, and he said, "You called? What do you need?" And that's like real stuff that's happening. And so if you have a question, then I will think of one of you, and one of you will pop up, and I'll get an answer from you. And so it feels like it's wanting you guys to be aware of that, because we are working together as a team in the field, and we are guiding souls home, and which is what we're doing on here too, right? So this is the reflection. This is the dream. So it's a lot of information, and just take what resonates with you, leave the rest. There is a little stuff that might not resonate with all of you, and that's fine. Just disregard it completely. And if anybody gets triggered, call me afterwards, and we can talk, or if you want to talk about it later to gain a greater understanding, that'd be amazing too. Those are my favorite phone calls ever, and I do that with a lot of you on here already, which is amazing. It's fun. That's all I could do for the rest of my life, is talk to these beautiful souls of you. So we're gonna open today, and Sheila is gonna pick us up, raise our vibration, so that when I'm speaking this information, it will illuminate the light codes, so you will be able to configure it and conceptualize it and integrate it and download it and illuminate it and be it in your cellular structure and in your conscious experiencing. So that's all. Are you ready, Sheila? I'm just going to open for really quickly. I'm sure you are. Noah's ready. And so we're just going to put our feet on the ground so we can get grounded and experience, feel the portals on the bottom of the feet, growing roots down to the heartbeat of our mother, the center of our earth. And we are connecting hands in this beautiful field of love. And we receive with the left hand, and we give with the right hand. So that's the motion. And our hands are portals for energy, for manifestation. And we're connected to the divine heavens, as above, so below. And so it's just, everybody knows how to breathe. So we're just going to do the heart rate coherence breathing while we connect, and then open your hearts, and Sheila is going to take us through this. Here we go. I love you.
Are you gonna take us through the breathing, Beth?
No, we're just gonna breathe. We'll
okay. All right. Okay.
You gotta come out.
We're going to use the consciousness of the Stargate and our intention to create an energy field that will uplift us and allow a greater flow of high vibrational energy into our lives. In this meditation, I'll be suggesting at various times that you invite different energies or higher light beings into our space. These energies and guides respond to our intention, to our asking. Just allow for the possibility for this to happen and let go of all expectations and just relax. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So find a comfortable place to sit or lie down, hopefully with no distractions, so that you will be able to feel the subtle energies that will come to us. Now we'll just relax and close our eyes. And take a few deep breaths in and out. This is a signal for our body to relax. And if you focus on your heart and feel grateful for something, you will also create the heart-mind coherence. So first we'll allow Gaia to ground us by calling for the energies of the earth, the consciousness of Gaia, to come up into every cell of our body and into our energy field. So each one of us now asking inside, we call for the energy of the earth to come up into our body and into our energy field. Inviting the earth to come fully into our energy field, fully into our body, to ground and nourish us. And she will respond to our asking. And now I invite each one of you to ask inside for an etheric stargate to come and form around you. And as you are visualizing the pyramid structure of the stargate forming around you, or else the Star of David, ask inside. We call for the presence of an etheric stargate to form around each one of us. And it will happen. It's important to activate the stargates, and that way the consciousness of it will respond to us. So now we call for the activation of all the stargates that we have created. So each one of us asking inside, we call for the activation of all the etheric stargates, plus the physical stargates in our space tonight. Nothing else to do, and as you ask, your stargates will start to radiate a very soft energetic around you. The activation starts the acceleration of the vibration, and as the stargates increase their frequency, the energetic field around us begins to move up through the dimensional ranges, moving out of the third now and into the fourth, and gently increasing into the fifth. The frequency is accelerating faster and faster into the sixth dimension and moving now into the seventh. Here we bring the stargates to a gentle pause and call for a strong seventh dimensional energy field in this space. So each of us now asking inside, we call for a strong seventh dimensional energy field in this space. Just relaxing and allowing the energy to shift around you as the stargates begin to radiate seventh dimensional energy field. Simply by relaxing, your own energy gently comes into harmony with the seventh dimensional energy field. Allow for the possibility for this to happen, and the change will occur all by itself. As you raise your vibration, your dormant DNA is also awakened and activated. It works on the quantum level with each and every cell of the level, on the level of your DNA, and also creates healing on many levels. As you know, we have 2 strands of physical DNA. Most people are not yet aware of the higher dimensional DNA. In fact, we have many strands of higher dimensional DNA that are entangled with or in the same space as the physical DNA. Much of it is dormant or inactive, but the energy of spirit is within every molecule. And every time you raise your vibration, more of this dormant DNA is awakened and activated. So now you are really harmonizing with the seventh dimension, and we will ask for an even stronger energy field. We call for an even stronger seventh dimensional energy field in this space. And perhaps you will notice a very gentle increase in the energy. Don't be concerned if you don't feel anything. You are still absorbing the energies. Now we will start the acceleration again and move gently into the eighth dimensional frequencies and accelerating into the ninth, continuing into the 10th, vibrating faster and faster into the 11th, and continuing to rise and merge into the 12th. Here we bring the stargates to a pause again and call for a strong energy field. So each one of us asking inside, we call for a strong 12th dimensional energy field in this space. And again, just notice and feel the energy gently changing around you as the stargates begin to radiate this 12th dimensional energetic. And there's also an energetic stargate grid around the world. And each time we activate even an etheric stargate, it connects with all the other stargates on this planet. Relax into this new vibration. And so now a strong energy field is radiating out in this space. Your own energy field rising as you simply relax and allow these energies to work with you. And now you too are vibrating at this 12th dimensional frequency, totally at one with it. There's nothing to do, just simply an intention to be in that vibration, which in truth is the quantum field. So have the intention of being in the vastness of the quantum field and vibrating at a 12th dimensional level. In this space, we will invite the higher dimensional beings to join us and bring their energy and high vibrations to us. We will start by inviting the presence of our higher self. It is the very essence of you, the part of you that is pure, unconditional love. And this part of you that is perfect. It is a part of you that is born of spirit, and it is the divine part of your existence. So each of us asking inside for the presence of our higher self. Call for the presence of our higher selves. Perhaps you will feel as this part of you merges with your body. This will help you to connect to all that you are, moving directly into your heart, releasing things that no longer serve your highest potential, and allowing inspiration and new energies to birth. Your higher self does not judge or condemn you or anyone else. It is energy in its purest form. And in reality, this is who and what you are. A pure, perfect being of light energy who has chosen to experience the physical plane. When you connect with your higher self, you have access to the energy of pure light and wisdom. It wants to guide you, but you must pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and emotions in order to hear and understand the messages. And now we will invite our own guides, those who wish to support us at this time. Simply send out a request calling forth our own personal guides who assist us moving forward in our lives. So each of us asking inside, we call for the presence of our own personal guides. And perhaps you will notice as they come into our space. Next, we will invite the angelic realm. who many of us are familiar with, to join us. So each one of us asking inside, we call for the presence of the angels. And just feel, here they come. Nothing to do, just allowing the angels to bring their energy, and you can invite them to come closer. Thank you. Bring more of your presence here. Come closer and feel their wings of love and protection around us. Feel their high vibration of pure love and compassion. Open your heart to receive these high vibrational energies. Angels are actually always with us and watching over us, but they will not interfere with our lives unless we ask them to. They know we are here to learn lessons, to grow, and to raise our vibration, and they want to assist us in any way they can for the highest good of all. And now we will invite some of the higher star family beings. So if you would like to invite the Pleiadians, we will call for the presence of the Pleiadians. Each one of us asking inside if you wish to have their presence here. We call for the presence of the Pleiadians. They are a star family who have gone through this process of ascension before us. And they are here to guide us and help us along the way as we move into the fifth dimensional frequencies. They also work in closely with the Arcturians. So we will also invite the Arcturians to join us. So each one of us asking inside now for the presence of the Arcturians. We call for the presence of the Arcturians. And perhaps you will notice a very slight energy shift. They are a more gentle energy. And they are here to help us with many healing processes that we will learn more about in the very near future. So let's put our hand on our heart and feel gratitude for the presence and the energies of all the higher light beings that have come into our space tonight to support us on our journey of ascension. For all that we are and all that we are becoming. Be grateful for all the love and the blessings that we receive every day. For the opportunity to be a part of this planetary shift in consciousness. Be grateful for the divinity that lives inside each and every one of us. And for the greatness within each of us that yearns to come out. And for the opportunity to be a part of the birthing of a new earth. For allowing ourselves to be the change that we wish to see. And for being part of the adventure of this lifetime. And for the time that we have spent together tonight and are spending together. So feel your fingers and your toes and move around just a tiny bit. Come back to your body. And I'll give the mic to Beth to lead us in more consciousness, uplifting consciousness.
I'm vibrating off the chair. My hands feel like there should be lasers shooting out of them.
You probably are.
And they are. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was wonderful.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's really gonna like just weave into what I've been getting so much information that since the last couple of weeks. So much so that sometimes I can't keep up. And during COVID, was what that it was showing me was to beware of hitchhikers, which are the lost souls who are crying, pleading to awaken and have someone help them. They don't know how, and so they will attach to your light. And if you're unaware, because you have so much compassion and empathy, that we can be unaware that there are hitchhikers, and that's not a negative thing. That's just self-care. And so that, yeah, we need to be present for ourselves and take care of ourselves. And no is a complete sentence. And there is a little, like one of the last parts of which channel, which is tonight is pretty long, that talks about that. So, and then the first part is just like a beautiful poem. It's perfume, the perfume from the divine that will illuminate the light codes, your dormant DNA. So it will help you conceptualize what's coming after that, which is a lot, which is really just a little, actually. So let's just get started. I was kind of like, wait, how am I gonna share this? There's a lot in it. I said, do it. I said, okay, okay, I will. You're the boss. I'm the instrument, and it's really fun. So, okay. The Divine Grid Programmer, Vibrational Hypnosis, Mixed Up Time Zones. Okay, reading the subtle energies of the spirit. When you become aware of the subtle energies of your internal and external environments, you can learn to read them and gain access to the information of the spiritual realm. You can then connect with the stillness of the scalar source field that holds all the information, past, present, and future, all that is, was, and ever will be. Upon observing the internal subtle energies directly correlated with the physical, emotional, mental, and breath postures, you gain access to the spiritual realm and its multidimensional energetic language. If you are unaware of subtle energies and their meanings, things are not always as they appear to be, as it's easy to hide your intentions behind written and spoken word. Your unconscious mind or body is defining your perceptions from your intentions, which often is an unconscious agreement you made long ago. Our unconscious intentions override our conscious intentions and create projected expressions, which become your perceptual external reality. When creating unconsciously, our internal reality is our true reality. It does not match our external reality and our conscious desires. Creating on default is to have no control, as reality is experienced as cause and effect. To create deliberately, one must transcend the reality of cause and effect by becoming aware of the interplay between the subtle energies within us and how they are connected to the externally projected reality. When aware of the language of the subtle energies, you unite within and without, becoming the cause that affects the external creation. The spiritual realm is of the invisible subtle energies, and the physical realm is of the visible energies of form. The interplay of energies between humans in the visible realm of form reflects the interplay of subtle energies of the internal realm of elementals. The environmental medium is the space where creation takes place. It's the womb, the garden, that when properly cared for and nourished, produces delectable, highly sought after fruit. The properly nourished soil is fertile grounds that are life-giving for the divinely chosen seeds. While the seeds germinate in the safety of the womb, the life-giving soil must be maintained. The undesirable stray seeds looking for fertile ground must be removed so as not to choke your desired harvest, leaving you hungry, thus in need. The life-giving elements of the womb, too, need to be fed with holy waters that provide instructions of the patterns of growth for the soil and the seeds. To ignite the spark of the triune fire, the light of the sun infuses the holy water, and the breath of life is born. The air is the medium purified by the flame that distributes the instructions born of the water and birth of the fire, enabling the sprouts to grow. It is the teacher, the navigator, and the director for the newly created life to evolve and grow. Woven within the broadcast of instructions, there lies the essence of the original creator that produces the divine codes. It is the essence, the perfume of creation that's experienced when ingesting its gift of delectable fruit. It's the taste of its sweet nectar as it dances within us. The sensational feelings we experience produce an unquenchable thirst for more. The insatiable desire creates dedicated disciples that stand guard at the gates of Eden, that nothing unwanted should enter and spoil the essence of the highly desirable fruit, which is more valuable than gold. For the desire to experience the life-giving essence is more powerful than the lure of personal gratification and cheers of the sensations from the moving objects in the external world. The essence of the Supreme Creator is the bread of life, as it is the force that burns new life in a plethora of forms. The one serves the many, and the many serve the one, as together they are separate, and separate they are together, manifesting life, that love may again and again propagate itself without limitation. Humans are the cells in the body of the divine mind. They are the nervous system and represent the thoughts in the body of the earth creation. Thoughts are the seeds of creation, and divine thoughts create divine beauty. They are the flow and the exchange of information and are represented as electrical poles that transmute and transmit the informational energy along the electrical wires, which reflect the neurological meridians in the body and the planet. They create the boundaries of space, the womb, delineating sections that receive only the information pertinent to the area and its purposeful creation. Each area has its own purpose, which supports its efforts in its desired creation and produces fuel and resources for the creation at large. This is reflective of the organ systems in the body and the continents of the earth. The microbiome field in the gut is coordinated by the efforts of its central processing area, its brain, called the mesentery. The incoming food, the elementals, are picked up in the digestive system by the plethora of microbiomes, which represents the upper digestive system and the endocrine system, which adds additional information based on the circadian rhythm spiral that maintains regulation for homeostasis to be maintained. The microbiomes are the messengers, the bearers of the gifts. They are the truckers in our external world. They take the resources to where they are needed to maintain and sustain life. The lymphatic system in the body is the waterways in our external world. They are used to transport resources, information, supplies necessary to maintain the whole creation. The supplies come from nature, and the information comes from the crystalline grid of the divine programmer that holds the original blueprints necessary to maintain order of the creation, that it might proliferate and grow. The immune system is the soldiers dedicated to protect the creation at all costs, for their deep love and reverence for life. This is reflected as our military system. In our collaborative movie, we perceive as external. And there's also the angels that we're calling them, our guides, our guardians. Any substance that is detected as unnatural is attacked and destroyed to maintain the cleanliness and preserve life. Reinforcements are produced immediately using the potential energy stored in the source field. The reinforcements must be disposed of when not in use, as their great numbers create blockages, and the toxins they create when eliminating predators pollute the pristine blood that carries the plasma, which is representative of the ethereal medium that is the essence, the perfume of life. It is a viscous material that absorbs and infuses the entire creation in the body and brings out about the feelings of connection to the entirety of creation and the creator itself. It energetically navigates the cycles of life, leaving you feeling connected and tangibly experiencing oneself as the divine. It creates connections to the externally projected reality that you might experience yourself as the sun, the moon, and the sky. You vibrationally match the invisible, internal, subtle energies with the external, visible forms of manifested energy that you may experience yourself as the whole. The heartbeat in the body reflects the heartbeat at the center of the earth and the universal tree of life. It holds the core, the axis mundi, which provides orientation in space, that we might navigate life with greater ease. If one gets lost, they can return to their center, where their source is known, realign, and begin again. It represents the magnetic pulse, the expansion of the torus field that sends out the electric vibrational signals through the quantum field that holds all the informational potential experiences imagined by the divine grid programmer of life. The vibrational signal is matched in the field, and the correlating information is received as light codes, which are transported vibrationally through the holy water of the cerebral spinal fluid. The information codes in the cerebral spinal fluid are then picked up by the receivers of the nervous system and transported to the brain, where it's translated into thought, concepts, visual projections we perceive as external, and somatic internal feelings which bring meaning to life. Nothing is external. It is all projected on the screen of the particular activating system we call the imaginary complex. The projection of the codes on the screen are pixels made of sequential geometric patterns we see as images. Everything in the projected movie is a pre-programmed symbol that represents the patterns of the subtle energetic vibrational frequencies sent in the angles of light. With these translated codes and their sensory projections, perceptions are produced which we perceive as our external world. We are creating a movie, and we are the observers of the movie. As the observers, we get to narrate the story we co-create with the energies of the divine programmer. Our TVs and computers reflect the concept of our biological computers we call bodies. We are essentially avatars in a simulated holographic reality projected by consciousness. Humans are the instruments that participate in the act of creation. They are not separate from the creation. Creation cannot manifest without the human instruments, which are the transducers for the divine creator. The transducers are the lighthouses that attract energetic information through vibrational sound produced by the bellows, the lungs in the body. The lungs stoke the fire of desire in the heart, creating differing vibrations used to attract and convert energy from one form to another. The mouth and the throat reflect the mouthpiece, and the lungs and the heart reflect the instrument as the human body. Humans are the soft wiring that kindles sound and movement in the hardwiring of the biological computer we call the body vehicle. The humans are the communication system for the many and the whole. Their gift is to be the receiver and producer of the energetic translation for the collective, and the cumulative combined efforts of producing and gathering information beneficial to the many and the whole. They are essential as they hold the foundational information, the DNA, or the God codes that allow creation to grow and evolve in divine order that manifests and sustains life. Their efforts are to participate in serving the creation and the creator in a co-creative collaboration of the divine design pattern. They sew and weave the divine tapestry of love and life. When a soul or a cell is unable to return to its center, it becomes lost, and it's without an access point or reference and clarity. The soul is detached from its essence, its power and navigation compass, leaving it aimlessly wandering, feeling abandoned, unprotected, and afraid. It forgets its identity, which dims its light, leaving it lost in its own shadows, afraid of the light. It then seeks the light through others to gain access to their own personal power, as it's unaware of its own projection. When the other's light is powerfully bright, it begins to reveal the darkness in the mind of the unconscious seeker. The unconscious mind attempts to protect the soul from the other's light by casting a darker shadow over their own light in an attempt to hide. The shadow is cast by perceptions formulated by the unconscious mind, which results in projections that govern the other's light. Unconsciously, they begin to discount, judge another's experience internally and unconsciously and project it onto the light they fear. They dim the other's light using beliefs, thoughts formulated in the past to support their illusory perceptions, which are then projected into manifestation. This creates energetic and perceptual division. Therefore, they cast a shadow onto others, falsifying the other's experience, wisdom, knowledge, and truth. In truth, they are dimming their own true light, replacing it with a false light, which has been labeled the ego. The ego is a master of self-deception. The ego is a master of self-deception, as it justifies their oppressive energetic projections, actions, thoughts, and emotions. It then claims no responsibility for its self-created projected reality. Therefore, it can avoid becoming self-aware and having to experience their own light. They self-sabotage through perceptual, energetic, emotional manipulation, making their false light, the ego, the superior light, and the true divine light, the imposter. Energetic allies are created by engaging in low vibrational experiences with others, pulling the newly created ally into their reality, holding them vibrationally hostage. As the ally is now resonating with the low vibration of the imposter, they easily begin engaging in emotional manipulation, divulging information that would have never been shared. Due to their allies' lack of their own integrity, they no longer trust themselves or others. Lack of self-trust is then projected onto others, making all others appear untrustworthy, thus unsafe. The lack of trust creates a perceptually unsafe reality, maintaining the low vibrational, energetic bond, keeping both parties immersed in the perceptual, illusory reality based on fear, lack, and competition, which slowly becomes bigger and bigger, appearing to be real. Their self-created illusory perceptual reality is non-existent, yet it leaves them indentured servants to their own hell. The one who expresses their true divine love light has been dimmed and discredited by the deceptive false light. Thus, the darkness has crucified the divine light. Those who cast shadows on their own projected divine light are casting a spell upon themselves, labeling as others. The loss of one's center creates fear of experiencing one's own divine light due to post-traumatic experiences held in the cellular data of the unconscious mind body. The lost light manifests the crucifixion of one's own Christ consciousness. Wow. One's inability to detach or disidentify from the egoic illusory self-image that proclaims to reflect and project the divine light is a deceptive way to elevate oneself for reasons of safety. To discern between the subtle energies of the divine light, there must be continual vibrational correspondence between one's internal and external realities. If the visible energetic vibrations of your external reality do not resonate with the subtle energies of your internal reality, you are not congruent with your intention. Those who have developed an identity that serves them with personal power from the deceptive false light may require more effort and self-love to disidentify from it. The seductive, deceptive, egoic false light must be preserved, as it can be used as a ticket for self-absolution and diverting consequences and responsibilities. They are not required or unwilling to listen and take direction from those who experientially project the divine light, knowledge, and wisdom. The experientially manifested expression of the divine light magnifies the fear within them. The unconscious mind, which identifies with the egoic false light, will project experiences that crucify the divine light to support its limiting belief of unworthiness and avoid self-condemnation. To avoid the light within, one avoids the dark within by distracting themselves with external, non-essential busy work while claiming to be in service to others. They block themselves with external distractions, leaving little time for self-disclosure. Unknowingly, they are suppressing their own awakening through fear-based, low-vibrational self-delusion. They claim ownership of realities which are perceived to project and reflect the divine light they are seeking, expecting notoriety, when notoriety is not externally expressed to them due to lack of contribution and connection. The egoic identity of the false light claims martyrship, making them exempt from self-responsibility when their perceptions are challenged. They claim unification and contribution to the whole, yet they unknowingly, unconsciously create realities that reflect division by shadowing the divine light and projecting a fear-based false light reality that they themselves have cast a shadow upon. Due to this spiritual malady, powerlessness is produced for all parties, which eventually either implodes the illusory divisive reality or maintains its structure due to resistance. Stay aligned in the truth and maintain constant communication with the subtle energies between your internal and external environment. Know your center, that you might return there and check your tools for distortions and blemishes, so your vision is clear. Set your internal state throughout the day, and when communing with another, internally state, I respect your sovereignty. I will not govern your creation. This produces and maintains clear vision. Listening is essential, as you will hear the unconscious mind speaking using terms of external creation. Stay open and clear. You will receive information from their spirit through the subtle energies within you as they resonate with your vibration. Your souls is desperate for awakening, and you are the midwives that guide their soul through the contractions from the tomb of the death to the birth of life. Be aware of your mind and the identity behind it at all times. And if you're uncertain of your response, place your hand on your heart and ask what love would say or do. Be aware of hitchhikers. They too are loved and are to be cherished. Our deep compassion and desire to serve can leave us blind and our garden unattended, which is an invitation for lost souls and desperate seekers. Lack of self-care creates lack of self-awareness, and unintended guests can make our field their own private nest. Unknowingly, they will harvest your gold, claiming it as their own, leaving you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually depleted. Never, ever defile love by sowing seeds of negative self-talk or that of others. You must maintain integrity of thought, word, and deed, for if you do, you are untouchable. Better to walk away happy with loving thought of self and other than to be understood, right, and depleted of source energy. You are the guide for those who choose to receive, that you are not here to rescue or fix anyone. To govern another's experience, labeling it as wrong, is to lose your freedom and reclaim your slavery status. All is divine love, perfectly perfect in every way. I am love, I am beauty, I am bliss. I am the divine programmer who is deeply in love with all of my expressions.
That's one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. That was just amazing. And it resonated so much because I've been going through a lot and that just spoke to me. And I've been having breakthroughs with this, but this just took my breakthroughs to another level because I just really felt and saw myself in that and how to see. I've been really learning how to unlabel things, not label things, because I realize any label is divisive. And, you know, even separating ourselves, ego, and so on and so forth, it's just, that just resonates so much. And I realize in every interaction I have with every human, I am talking to God. I am having a conversation with God. And they're only a reflection of me because we're all one. So Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful, Sean. Yeah. Every conversation that we are having is a conversation with God or with love, with the divine spirit. Like, and it really is. That is how I experience my reality. Because when you resonate with that vibration, everything feels like you. And when you know who you are and you fall deeply, deeply in love with yourself, which we all should be all the time, to interject into somebody else's reality feels like a knife in your heart. For me. And and so I feel that. I feel oftentimes the whole creation screaming in agony. But then also this right here, this is just, oh my gosh, it's euphoria, the feeling that I get to experience. And I'm so humbled that me, who like 5 years ago was trying to drink herself to death, gets to work for love, gets to, express for love, get to experience that is still a bit beyond my comprehension. But I know how much I love myself. And so every single one of you is exactly the same. And that's fact. That's fact. Whether anyone believes me or not is irrelevant, because I know what I feel and I know who I am and I know exactly who you are too. Exactly. I know exactly who you are. You're me. You're me. And I love you. Jana.
I think we all believe you, number one. Number two, Trixie's now discovered her mom on TV and she's enthralled. And I just wanted to say, there's been times, because it's not always, we're growing. And I think about like when bands first start playing together, there's times they play like shit together. It doesn't sound good, and but they just keep pushing through until they find that sound, until they find their groove. And it's really an honor to be a part of this work, and to, even though sometimes it sucks, to keep, even when it's just to keep going, and just to keep going, because on the other side of it is love. On the other side of it is joy, and a new level of this divine game, and it's just super beautiful. And thank you. That was, one last thing, because I sometimes get a little bit of squirrel brain and I don't want to forget. What do you think about having a binder and printing these out so that we can have kind of a book? Because I'd love to read that again.
Yeah, they're on I'm posting it on the Facebook, and then I have a YouTube channel, just Elizabeth Cove.
Yeah, but just
I'm going to change it to Heaven on Earth Renewal Initiative, but someday.
Yeah, maybe we can start a binder, and then that way we can just punch it and put it in there every week. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I mean, I printed them, but like for people, they can just go in there and read it on the the video.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, and thank you. And like we were and we are all of those things. So there is no demonization of anyone at all. It's just awareness. That's all. It's just awareness, because we need to be self-aware so that we can, first of all, we need to be our number one priority always. And we have been taught differently. And we must be our priority. We are love. Love is our priority. And we cannot express love, loving behaviors, thoughts, and create loving experiences when we do not love ourselves and care for ourselves. And so we can't help anyone if we don't help ourselves. And so that is priority. Sheila.
That was really beautiful, Beth. I resonated with everything you said there. That was awesome. And I think a lot of people were losing hope in humanity, but just watching what's happening in Canada this week, I don't know if any of you've seen any of the
Yes.
videos or whatever, but Canada, every single town and city in Canada was celebrating togetherness and unity this past week, and it was so beautiful. And people all just came together, and you could tell that they were really celebrating the divinity within one another. They were so happy, and it was just amazing to watch. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's so beautiful. And then when I was getting that, like, it was showing me, like, the truckers and how they're so discounted, and they are our fuel source. And they drive for hours and hours and hours and hours to feed us. Like we need to. They are sustaining us, and so I'm so grateful that it's the pain that brings beauty, and so bring on the pain so we can grow and know and become self-aware and unite and remember and create more beauty.
Great.
Thank you. Dina.
Yeah, thank you so much, Beth. Oh my goodness, I am blessed beyond every cell. Is so excited to hear your words. My audience is predominantly empaths, and we forget sometimes to do the internal self-love so we can come from the right place. You could feel someone's pain, but if you're not coming to them from love, then it's a human overcoming that person and taking their sovereignty away. And one of the things I love about this group is that we're expanding each other into more love, into more capacity. Yeah, I would really love the printed version of this. I need to reread this many times, many times. There's a lot of information there and a lot of a very good awareness to have to know that if we are missing any piece, that we need to shine the light on it and expand ourselves before we go out to others. So thank you so much. I adore every word. I adore your commitment and dedication to love. You are beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I received that. I worked hard for that. Took a lot of work for me to be able to love myself again. And so I'm humbled and I'm honored, and I'm the recorder. So I'm not the voice, but I am the recorder. And so give honor to that. Because that's all of us. That's all of us. That's not me. That's all of us. We're one. And so we are like coming together right now to return to our origin, to the center, so that we can gain that spatial awareness of where we are going, who we are, like where do I get my resource of information from? Because none of my resource of information comes from up there. It only comes from in here. No book, I don't care what book it is. I don't care if it's 2,000 years old or 10,000 years old. I don't care how many words are written. None of that, it comes from right here. And when you are connected, you just ask and you do receive if you maintain integrity of self-love, which means loving others. So you maintain your identity, you know who you are. And we made a commitment. We made a pact. Like we won the lottery ticket, like to come here and do this. And only old souls with lots of experience would be able to do this. And so know your value. Please know your value. Know, and they're beautiful. I'm just like, because we were young souls too, but we're not. So we came here for that deep love of love. So ourselves, And, you know, we have chosen to drop ill consciousness, to veil ourselves. And we knew we would experience a lot of suffering, but we are so powerful. We just, that's not going to hold us back. We've been through all that already. We can do this. And we're going to wake up, remember, reunite, and glean. And we are right now. And I lately have envisions of us standing in that. Well, right now, we're like at a round table up there. It's us again laughing at ourselves actually down here. It's hilarious. And then like we were in like at the pyramid, at this temple, at the Sphinx, and we were saying, like, it was a remembering when we were like weeping because we had lost ourselves, because we lost ourselves. And so we hid the information inside here, making an oath, a pact, like we will be back, we will reunite, we will remember, and we will redeem. And that's what we're doing. And I'm just like, whoa, this is cool. Okay. It's really trippy sometimes, but it's amazing. But we're all there. And we like all put our hands out, because the hand is that represents man, that is human. It's the measure of the universe. And so we had put our hands out and received. And we took our positions. And yeah, like if you guys are waking up tired, it's because you're working all night. I'm serious. You really are. And this is a lot of work. And this is why this self-care lesson for today is because, you know, we don't sleep, right? Our body sleeps. We just shift to it dimensions and work. And so, but we need to take care of ourselves so that we can stay clear. And again, we have such huge hearts and such deep compassion, which is why we came, right? And so we can often leave ourselves behind, and we can't do that anymore. We can't, because we came here to help them. We can't do that if we don't help ourselves first. And so self-love and commitment to each other in however that shows up, you know. And like here we are, you know, I've lived with these beautiful women before, and this is amazing. And we're learning and growing together. You know, we don't know each other's history and all that stuff. And so there's triggering going on, and we're just loving and figure it out. There's no blueprint right now. There's no blueprint to create from. Okay. And so we know the programming, and of course, we're trying to keep walking out of it and stay out of it, but we slide in, and then we slide out, and we slide in, and that's great. That's okay. It's just remembering, oh, wait, that's not me. That's that programming. And let's push that over there and hug each other and stand side by side and go again. And that's what we're doing. And it's just it's really beautiful. I've never had this connection, well, with myself first, and then with love, which is all of you. It's so it's just so beautiful. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you, Jen.
I just wanted to say that, you know, a particular pattern is showing up in your relationships, which, I mean, because this is definitely what was happening for me. And there's been times in my life, honestly, where I haven't wanted to be here anymore, lots. And I'd always get this voice in my head that was like, don't quit before the miracle, right? And so I was having, you know, a moment. And what's really interesting is, you know, it's kind of like, you know, how you zone in on a frame, or you can zone out. And if you zone in on one thing and magnify one thing about a person, that's all you're gonna see. Yeah. And you're gonna get so caught up in that moment and just magnifying on that one bit. And I found this little thing that I do where I pretend like I get in a little spaceship, And then I move out from the planet, and then I look at it from here. And then you can see all the glorious beauty and all the wondrous things about that human again, instead of being stuck on that one particular thing that really isn't actually fucking real to begin with, right? Excuse my language. So, you know, I think that that's really important. And the last time, so it's like, I want to transmute this pattern. And it also applies not just to, you know, life, but relationship was like, don't quit before the miracle. And I just, you know, we kept pushing, and thankfully I had a willing, loving partner. Because relationships are just not just between, you know, they're friendships, they're spiritual ships. So yeah, I just wanted to share that extra and tell you hi, and Faye Marie, and I love you. And hi, Vashon. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so that's that. That's just what I wanted to share.
What's the miracle gonna happen, Jen?
What's the miracle? You and I yesterday standing in front of a giant, perfect replication of David. I wanted to do something for 2022, and I found online that they have an identical replica of David from David and Goliath. It's right outside of Ripley's. And Beth and he's magnificent. And right now the world is very much, you know, David and Goliath.
Yeah.
And we had this moment that was super beautiful, and I won't get too woo-woo, but just the love. And a couple of weeks ago, I mean, like, we were, you know, kind of like, I was like, you know, and now I'm, you know, like, I'm truly in love, and it's just real. I've had relationships and friendships in my life where, you know, you get along all the time and everything's fantastic, and it's all fun and games, and you have so much fun together. But the first time there's an actual real fight, it's over, because you don't know how to disagree.
Yeah.
And then they're gone. And so that is not really any different than using people as a substance, like a drink or a you know, a high. That's not real. You know, real connection is when you can have those moments and grow and have somebody that you can be vulnerable with and say, you know, this is how I'm feeling, this is where I'm at. And it's just a next level of relationship, you know, being in relating to another human and taking us to a higher vibration of love. And yeah, so it's pretty cool.
It is, and that we're all works in progress, and like that's why we're here. So let's be works in progress, and you know, stop pretending. Like I love being real, and
me too.
You know, it's amazing, and I can be real and feel my emotions, and then collect myself and have an adult conversation and stay in love. And it's really, it's wow. Yeah. Didn't experience that for 50 years because of the programming, but we're walking out of that. And so we are so glad. Hey, Marie.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I miss you and Jana so much. For those who don't know, I'm back in Georgia for a few days and trying to figure out this house situation. That was so profound, Beth. And I definitely want to reread and reread that. It was, and one of the things that I believe you and I have talked about and has been so prominent for me lately and pretty much hourly, it is kind of at the heart of what we're talking about here is we are love, here to be love and to manifest love. And yet there is no blueprint. We are in uncharted seas at this time in the existence of humanity. And what I'm finding is there are a lot of variables within those truths. And what I mean by that is we're here for love and there's no blueprint. And so I'm finding that it is so challenging, and yet so far so good, to stay aligned in love when it is necessary to speak something that is not pleasant or is hurtful to another, because we are here to be healers and to be healed. And as you know, and some of you know, my theme, and I'm in the process of organizing Clarion Voice Unlimited, and yet I'm a mediator, and so I like to sidestep conflict. I don't like to do anything but be a peacemaker. And yet sometimes love, I know, the earth waking people say love confronts dysfunction. However, that dysfunction we have to process within ourselves and say, is it dysfunction for me to say something? Or is it dysfunction for me not to say something? Is it the most loving path for me to get it out there verbally and make sure that I'm in love, complete alignment in love? Or is the path of love to say, I need to just let divine timing unfold a little bit and see how this unfolds, and how it how it plays out. And so I don't know if anyone else is having that issue, because it's very challenging to say, okay, what is love? How does love look in this situation? Because there is no blueprint. And yet what is comforting to me is that if I know and I check my motives and I know I'm in love, even if I maybe feel like, okay, next time I think I'll handle that a little differently, at least I know that I'm aligned in love and we're learning. It feels wobbly right now because there is no blueprint as to how love looks in a lot of these situations that we're dealing with, because what I'm dealing with is not so much those who aren't awakened, but it's dealing with people who are walking in a lot of issues, who are part of our community, and that we adore and we love. And yet how do we interact and interface with that? And I just want us all, and I say for myself, send me light about this. Clarity is one of my favorite words and has been for decades. And I want clarity about how love looks in this situation, or whatever situation we're dealing with. Is it silence, or is it not silence? Does anybody read me on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree. And, in that moment, if we just, and, stay in your truth, but it maybe ends up being, I don't know, from some, everybody has their own viewpoint, right? And so it's like can't even be judgment. There can't even be right and wrong, because nobody lives in my world and nobody lives in your world, and it's all based on experiences and our specific placement of angle of perception. And so so that's amazing. Thank you, because it's just the non-judgment. Okay, I see where you came from that, and you were in love. And so, and this is my experience. And so they can both be seen and nobody has to be wrong. It's just clarity, like you said. And that just brings more clarity and safety. We're allowed to be vulnerable and speak our truths so that we can um, express ourselves freely and make our needs be known without being fear of rejection. And, we're received because there isn't the you're right and I'm wrong. It's just, oh, okay, we see now. We see our vision is clear. And then we just start clear and we just go from there. And so absolutely. And that's happening a lot right now because we don't have the blueprint. And but that's really cool because we get to create what we want, and creating the new blueprint is all of us together. This cannot work if only a few people have the vision and the blueprint. Everybody, the people are the structure, which is the subconsciousness is the structure. And that's the only way it really, the new world can be born. And I don't know who's next. I got Raj and
Vashon.
Vashan was
Vashon?
next.
Okay.
Vashan, then Zena.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. This conversations is resonating so much with me. I've been learning this through experience, and hopefully something I've been learning can assist with what you were saying, Faye Marie. I've learned that a lot of, like, when I'm like, say, for example, I see injustice in the world, right? Well, if I'm seeing injustice in the world, I now have judged something. I've said it's right, wrong, it shouldn't be, however, and in that I've labeled it, and then I've created this divide, right? So because I'm saying, oh, it's not meant to be. So I'm taking God off the throne. I've taken him off the throne and put myself there. And yes, I am God personified on earth. And, still there's things that I'm not meant to understand.
Yeah. That
sometimes love looks like murder.
Yeah.
Sometimes love looks like assault. And the gifts that I've gotten from that are so great. And, I think, it happened to me because I was strong enough that what if it happened to the next person? Yes. And I acknowledge that it happened to me. And at the same time, I can find love in it in many different ways, even in, some of the most heinous things that we label as heinous, but who's to say what that is? How come anxiety can't be excitement? How come, we label, it's part of our blueprint, and it's just something that we do. And I've learned to look at, where am I hearing from? Am I hearing from love, or am I hearing from fear? Because I realize there's something that I do, like I think my ego is speaking, but that really was my highest self speaking really loudly, which it normally doesn't that loudly, like, to the point where I'm like, oh. So, but I disregard it. And in the resistance, it's like, resistance breeds resistance, but in that resistance, that is the not being in love. I thought I was being in love and honoring, I guess, who I thought I was in the moment. But so I just come to realize that everything is me. Everything is a reflection of me. If it's in my reality, it's in me somewhere. If, I'm a predator just as much as anybody else, because as a hero, I'm looking for my next victim. Who can I fix? Who can I assist? How can I be there? I'm a pedophile because I molest my inner child when I don't honor that's not something I want to do. Oh, that's just sex. It's not that big a deal. Oh, well, he wants it, so whatever, that kind of thing. So if we look at all of us as we are all one, I am talking to God, and even in the most, you could do the most whatever thing, you know, that I could judge you for, whatever. I still am talking to myself. And I honor you as the God in that moment and find love in whatever it is. And it may not always look, because we were taught through the blueprint that love looked a certain way, looked like rainbows and unicorns. And if it doesn't look like this, then it's not love. But sometimes love is the hard conversations and the things we don't want to say. And in the experiences that look the most, you know, what the fuck, you know, it's just,
Yep.
it just is, you know. So that's just what I've been learning. So I hope maybe that was helpful for somebody.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Sean. I think everybody's, you know, going through that right now. I mean, to be able to, you know, my best friend of 45 years was just murdered in the hospital. And my sister, who's never been sick in her life, now is dying of cancer because of certain things. And, you know, and you know, when I talked to my sister on the phone and I told her about, you know, what these healing modalities and what, and she said, no, I'm just going to do the chemo, whatever, what the doctors say. And I said, that's amazing. Like, I honor your decision. And however that turns out, it is as it should be. And so I don't have that clinging, you know what I mean? And I know that whatever happens, it's supposed to happen. And it's going to be proliferate something beautiful for someone somewhere, you know, her husband, her daughter. And so I know something good is going to come out of it. And so I don't have to judge it, and I just allow it and allow her experience, because I can't know everything, right? I can only know right now. And sometimes I don't even know that. But the biggest thing is I'm detached too, and I'm free from that. And because when I judge other, I'm judging me. And so then I'm contracting. And I am, you know, I'm leaving my field open for somebody to come in. And so, yeah. But, you know, with all these things happening, it is a lot to see, you know, death and destruction. But I just get reminded that that is the fuel, that the burning down of that is the fuel, the fertilizer for the garden, the new garden that will grow the new seeds. And so those people, those souls who have chosen to come and experience in that should be deeply honored, because they chose to experience that so that we might grow, shift, and move out of this 3D programming that's keeping everybody suffering. And so that I can do that, but not everybody has to. But when I do, it's just transcending duality. I'm free. I get to be me. And but it is a lot. It's a lot, and I'm experiencing losses right now. So it is a lot. Thank you. Okay, Raj or Zena, whoever listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth. Yeah, I'm reminded. So a couple of weeks back, I did a class on triggers. If you guys were there, you saw the two pools that I had. You know, one person had a pool that was clear and there was nothing floating in it, and another person was in a pool and it was completely crowded with beach balls or balls. You know, and those balls are different events that they're carrying that they don't know how to do. So I'll give you another example. I'm an empath that came out of abusive relationships, and I'm loving my life. I'm on the farm with my horses. Like, I have a great life. And I'm going down this path, skipping away, touching all these trees along the way. Now, if I did that to one of the people that is an empath in my class that is in an abusive circumstance today, every tree I touch could be the analogy that Beth gave. It could be a minefield. And I don't know that because she's in that valley. She's choosing that. and to be very respectful of what she has taken on to experience and to walk through and to navigate out of that valley is, for me, expressing love to her. And Beth, Beth is empathic. She can feel what she does to other people instantly. We don't always have that ability. I think that you will know by connecting to someone's heart and feeling their vibration on perhaps whether you're honoring their journey and coming from love, or you're disregarding the space that they're in, which is not love, in my opinion, because their journey is different, and it's as important, if not more important, than mine. But in order for me to stay in love, I need to allow them to have their choice, allow them to have their ability to get out of that choice, out of their valley, the way they choose to experience it. That to me is love.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I've reflected that to people, and I get that, like, wait, what? They're not well, and it's that attachment. And I'm like, well, that's why they have to go. They're not well. And so I need to let go, and they need to go do more experiencing so that they can find their way home. So if I'm holding them and, like, you have to get well, or, whatever, and I need you to, so I can take care of you, because that's giving up. We're getting something out of that, right? And I am hurting them. I'm hurting them terribly. And we just love so much and deeply. But we have to check why we're doing that. Is that feeling something in me? Like, I need to look good and be the hero and the rescuer? So clearly then, if I'm upset, then that's about me. And if I'm not, like, just say, go with love, and that's amazing. And I know you're going to have a great adventure, and you're going to find whatever you're looking for. It's just freedom for both parties. And I need to get what we need. Yeah. But we have been taught differently. And so breaking out of that programming and allowing ourselves to be free to experience it as we are, as we should, and define it as we should, and receive from it whatever we're supposed to learn the lesson. Raj, did you have your hand up? Nope. Put it down.
I would like to add something on
Sure.
this. The challenge for all of these things are beautiful points. I'm very, very clear on not fixing people and that kind of thing. The challenge for me at this point in my journey, and I know this is true for probably all of us, is when you know that a personal decision that is only yours to make. I'm not talking about any conceptual thing or any relationship out there. I mean, a personal decision that only you can make is going to hurt someone. And knowing what Beth was just saying, that sometimes that personal decision that we make in seeing and knowing and being clear that, I have to align with my truth and what Spirit's showing me, and yet it's going to hurt someone, that's a toughie. And that's what I'm talking about. And yet that's where we are so often. It's kind of like having a teenager who is not going to like your decision. And yet it's your responsibility to walk as not just a spiritual parent, which I believe, oftentimes we are with the people we are loving, and we are helping guide along their journey as we can, not fixing them, but helping them assisting them as a lighthouse. And to be able to just, like you were saying, Beth, we have to just say, this is not mine to walk. And so to allow that one that we love and adore, like a beloved child, to experience the path that they are going to have to walk if they continue on that journey. I'm talking about personal decisions that we often have to make as love, in love, that we know are going to have consequences of pain for another. And so, yeah, that's where it starts getting very fine-tuned in our walk. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
thank you all for those comments. I thank you for I feel like we've got such an amazing, well, I don't feel like it. I know we have an amazing family here, and we have each other's back, and we're manifesting so quickly, and things are manifesting, wow, all the time, every day, in such amazing, and sometimes you think surprising, but really I'm not surprised anymore, because we're anticipating and expecting manifestations. And so if we're clear on what we want, which is not always easy to do, then we're going to get it. And I just love all of these courses that we're all doing. And let me just say before I mute myself, I would love feedback from the group on, because I've been asked to do a Sunday service, and I would like to know if we would like an afternoon or an evening Sunday service, because so many people have already commitments on a Sunday morning, and then Earth Waking has theirs. So just, I would love any feedback on that, to text me and say, yeah, I'd love 5 o'clock. I'd love 6 o'clock. I'd love 7 o'clock. I'd love, or if a morning fits, then we'll do that. I'm feeling like it might cover more people if we did it later in the day, but just feedback on that, please.
Thank you. That sounds wonderful. I just want to say that, pain is a relative term, right? It's perception. And so if I'm looking at someone and I'm saying they're going to experience pain, that's about me. That's not about them, because they're going to experience joy. They're just going to experience. And so if I label it as pain, then I'm judging the experience, and then I am judging my experience too. And so, yes, I get what you're saying, but with the new mind, and slowly we're walking out of this programming and getting clear perception. You can send them with love and say, and I have, go out there, man, and create a bunch of pain. That's fantastic, because that is what's going to birth your soul. And so I don't perceive it that way, and I don't feel it. It's a gift. It's a blessing to send them. And I have had to push some people out of the nest, and I love it. I love it, because I've been there, and I know the end result. And
yes,
so
and that's a really good point. I appreciate that point. For me, when I see someone who wants something and they're suffering, and I just have to go with it. So thank you for those comments. Yeah.
Raj.
Yeah, so following along on that, so Faye Marie, I think that, I agree with Beth. There is a difference between being empathetic and compassionate. A compassion says everybody has the divine power to experience life any way they choose. And it's not up to us to judge them for whatever choices they make. Just as it's not up to anybody else to judge me for the choices I make. It's my experience, it's my path, it's my creation. And if I were to judge my creation, I am judging divinity.
Yes.
That's not good, right? That's not going to end up well, because we know the law of cause and effect will bring about a result that we likely do not want. And so when we are creating consciously, we are aware of the law of cause and effect, and therefore we sow what it is we want to reap. And what is it that we want to reap? We want to reap, as Beth said and alluded to, and not alluded to, but actually talked about earlier tonight, was you have to go within. It's a personal journey. You have to do what you feel to be the truth for you. Now, others may have completely different opinions, they have different perspectives, and that's what they're supposed to have, because their journey is not the same as yours. Theirs is unique, just as yours is unique. So as long as you do what you need to do for you from love, be gracious enough to allow another individual to experience what you choose to do in whatever way they choose to experience it. And it's all good, because that's
Yes.
what they're meant to do.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Perfect. Love that.
Amen.
Now, while I have the floor, I'm gonna do a little advert for Wednesday,
Okay.
because everything you guys talked about is, so Beth and I don't actually collaborate. Like, we don't get together and she says, hey, this is what I'm going to talk about on Monday, and I go, okay, great, I'm gonna riff off of that and do something on Wednesday. This is completely random. She's off doing her Monday work, and I'm off doing my Wednesday work. But it never ceases to amaze me how there is correlation almost every week. So this week we're going to talk about time travel. I was inspired to call it time travel because I was doing a little bit of research, and I had come across a picture of a DeLorean. And everybody remember Back to the Future? So we're going to talk about Back to the Future. DeLorean rides are there for anybody that wants to come join me at 7 o'clock on Wednesday for Tool Time. The topic is time travel, fact or fiction. So hope to see you all there.
Yes, Raj. I can't wait. I asked Raj the other day, I'm like, Raj, like, I don't know why nobody understands me. And he's like, well, Beth, you're from the future. You went back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Because I'm like, what? I don't, because I don't think like that anymore. I only think like this. And so I'm often unable to get like their perception, because so I'm like, sometimes it's like what, why would you do that? And then I reminded, oh wait, that's, yeah. And so sometimes there is that. And so that was hilarious. I love that, Raj. That was amazing. It was exactly what I need to hear. And then right afterwards, I had all those visions of us standing in front of the pyramid. So yeah, Raj was there. We're all there. But okay. Oh, I wanted to say the dimensions. I just wanted to share this really quickly. Like, this is just I have a huge mind map that has all the dimensions. And so this is the 4 rivers of school. And so each one of these is a different symbol, for one frequency, but on different dimensions. Okay. And so when you can, this is the 5th river, but when you can, so the dimensions. And so when you can know the language for all the dimensions, the symbols, then you can read the language in all the dimensions. And so that helps you shift through consciousness through the dimensions. And so as you can see, it's the body, the fluids, the minerals, the elements, all of these. And they're all postures. And I'm not finished yet. I have a huge, a huge mind map. Like, it's just huge. You can't really see it here, but it's like has all the dimensions and all how they're reflected. Like, the quantum field, we get the thoughts from there, and then our thoughts feed ourselves, and feed the planet. So if we feed loving thoughts to our planet, she will produce loving fruit. And like the continents are the organs in the body. And if you can see the reflection, it's just a fractal of this one pattern, like all the way through them, which is like, there's this 4D is the social expression, the relations between, and the narratives. And so if you know those reflections, you can just jump through the dimensions and be able to read and navigate all of them, because you know the language and what they mean. And uh, yes, and so you can go like from the microcosm to the macrocosm in consciousness by just shifting your vibration, and at will, which is what we're learning to do with our body mind complex. And you bring up the symbol of what you want to experience, and then you raise your vibration to match the symbol, and then you just turn around and you're in the other dimension. You're just there through consciousness, because it's connecting you. It's just a portal, so you're connecting, and you're already doing that all the time. You're already all the time, and so, and if you learn the mudras of the hands, which is, the sacred geometry, which I know they just started doing it, and now they do it. You can connect, and like they were teaching me how to like turn your head just right, like at this angle, and connect, and then I could see myself on all the dimensions, and each of them have a geometric postures and all this breathing, everything. So it's really actually pretty easy once you have the concept in your mind and you learn to control your vibration through the use of your body mind complex, and you assume your true identity. It's the most important thing, and you use the resources from your true, not from out there or the programming that is not reflective of your truth in any way, shape, or form. And I love talking about this stuff. So if anybody wants to talk about it, we'll do a Zoom call. We can connect and it's just cool to do these mind busters. Yeah, I just love to learn. And I'm just really diving into Hermetic and Egyptian astrotheology right now. It's fascinating. So let me know. And we can hook up. And
We
just
got
have
to
some
we got to
fun.
we got to co-create a class in astrotheology, Beth.
Oh my gosh, I just love it. I
Because
so much.
I'm going to reach out to you. We'll make that happen.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Oh, it's amazing. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, let's do that. I've got tons of downloads for astrotheology the last couple weeks. So yeah, but Xena.
Just wanted to just express my excitement, because like I know you do, I practice lucid dreaming, and I know I've seen you there, so I know you go into the ethers, but also I think you should do a class on quantum jumping, because that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people here are fascinated by it, but maybe need more practical steps to practice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so perhaps when you do that, we can do a practice group.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have all kinds of, I just gave him to Rob. Rob's here. Rob, he's going to do the Gerald O'Donnell. Yes, 5 years ago, I was called to do his remote viewing, remote influencing.
Hey,
Hi, Rob.
Hey.
How are you? What's up?
I'm good. Continue on. You were
No.
mentioning.
No, you had your hand raised. Go ahead.
No. I thought you were mentioning. Anyway, go on. Misunderstanding.
He was mentioning remote influencing. Are you
Remote
going to teach
influencing.
that class?
Yes. and
Okay.
You just got all the tapes. I still got to give you 2 of them. But
Hmm.
you got to teach me how to do that. I don't know how to send them.
I got to get the rest of them.
You do. You got 2 more. So, but
Yeah.
those are really good. They're really good, and they help you teach you to expand your consciousness. So, like I can make myself be everything, which is, I guess, how I connect with the field. It just, there's a lot of things that I'm understanding now that I didn't know why I did it. Well, I did. I was called to do it, but now I'm understanding how it created the connection. And So now I'm able to give these tools to other people so they can create it too. And it's fun. It's fun. Alicia. Alicia. All right. She's on the potty break.
Can I just ask something?
Yeah.
What was the theology that you were talking about? Was that astral theology?
Astral theology.
Okay.
Yeah. And that the planets are representative, the spheres of the seven chakras. It's another thing. It's the same reflection. And yeah, there's a lot. It's just really cool. And I would love to go over like the body and how it represents the, you know, the Jordan River, and the, you know, going down the Nile, and the milk and honey, the land of milk and honey, all of that, the chrism, and how to detox the body. Like when Jesus was saying, turn water into wine, you have to detox. Our bodies are so full of the toxins from these GMOs and our toxic thoughts, our toxic beliefs, that our bodies are just full of parasites, and because all these unnatural substances. And so the unnatural substances, then the liver can't filter out the body, and so everybody is in a acidic state, which is a perfect breeding grounds for viruses and parasites and all that. And so we need to get back to our natural state of alkaline state, our blood, and so we can connect with the God codes in our blood. In our blood, in the DNA, it is written, God in man eternal. It's like the divine sciences artwork. That's how amazing it is. And so we have to shift, and grapes are a frequency of a cleaners of the digestive system. They, when you do a fasting,
How about raisins?
yeah, raisins. Those are do clean you out, right? And so that's why it was turn water into wine in the Bible. It was because the grapes are a frequency of detoxing the body. And like I did a liver detox first time. It was like, oh my gosh, all like 1,000 crystals came out. I just couldn't even believe it. And that's in all of us because of the food, and then it causes you know, the body is constantly trying to clean itself, so it's oxidizing the blood, and so it's like Drano. It's like pouring Drano, and so the cell membrane get inflamed, and then the ion channels in the cells, they close, and so we can't communicate. They can't communicate and say, I need this and this needs that and this needs to go here, and like all that, which is reflected to us as we are not able to communicate because nobody's on the same wavelength. Nobody knows who we are. And then the body, the parasites, which is the first seed of doubt, which was the division, the separation, and they claim the host, and they go into the cell, and they use the cell's reproductive system, and they change the RNA codes, and so the body then is reproducing for the viruses and not our original God codes. And so, and then the body cells don't recognize itself because their codes are changed. And so they replicate the virus, and then they attack themselves because they think their cells are the invaders. And that's what's happening right now. A lot of this stuff, but it's been going on. Like people lived for, you know, a few hundred years or more. I mean, that was real because we're self-healing. And so we're remembering that, waking up and learning, and regaining, and just doing the best we can and having fun. Yeah.
Don't forget cell salts.
Get what?
Cell salts.
Cell salts?
Yeah.
Cell salts.
Cell
So if you take a look at the picture in my background, right, it's a picture of the zodiac. So a human fetus is in gestation period for 9 months. So what happens is during those 9 months when we're in the womb as a growing fetus, the mother's body generates mineral salts that are then encoded into our DNA, as Beth said. However, because we gestate for 9 months and there are 12 months of the year, there are usually 3, or depending on when you're born, either 3 or 4 cell salts or mineral salts that we're always deficient in. And there is a German scientist by the name of Schlusser who showed that every single ailment can be treated with the cell salt, the mineral cell salts that we're deficient in. And that what that causes is exactly what Beth said, because once we have the balance of the minerals in our system, then our body's self-healing mechanism is able to clear out all the things that we put into it that we're not supposed to. So it excretes it out. But if your cell salts are out of balance, then your body then chooses to see itself as the danger and starts to attack itself. So once you understand so it's a very simple thing. You take a look at when you were born and you just basically go back. You can either go forward 3 months or go back 9 months, figure out roughly when you were conceived. And that'll show you the gap of the 3-month period, and it'll show you the 3 cell salts that you're deficient in. And when you bring that back into balance, a lot of the challenges that you might have biologically will fix itself, because that's what your body does.
Like autoimmune, you think that this is connected?
Everything.
All autoimmune diseases are the cause of this. I had a plethora of them, and they're completely gone. I was on so many meds. I had them all. gone.
Wow. And did you use salt?
I used and I have like really pure, like zinc and magnesium, and they are cleaners. They're programming erasers, and they just rebalanced my body.
Wow.
And I'm regrowing my microbiome field, because everybody's microbiome fields are depleted. And so the stuff, it can't travel. We don't have the messengers like to travel around. And so, and a lot of it we can't digest because it's not natural to the body. And so changing that. And then also, like, I do the imagination. I connect with my cells and I talk to them. And that's how I do a lot of my healing. And so your visualization, and with your breath, and then like with your imaginary I imagine a telephone, I like the old one, and I like pick up the receiver, and I can feel my cells go zing. It's just like, oh, the boss is here. I'm feeling it right now. They're just like, oh, and they pay attention, because we are the master of our domain. We're just remembering that. And so I instructed my body to heal, and it does. And I love it. And then I supported it with all the healthy things out here, and essential oils, and I don't drink that water anymore, and crystals and all kinds of stuff. Loving thoughts, mostly loving thoughts and loving feelings. Love your body back to health, and think your body back to health. It works. I'm proof. I was dying 5 years ago. I've been sick for a long time.
May I ask Raj a question?
Yeah.
I'd like to ask him, what was the name of that book about the cell salts?
Oh, that's right. Let me get it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Gianna.
Oh, I think I forgot what I'm very interested in you doing something on the quantum jumping, because there's a lot of, it's really wild right now. There's a lot of things that are coming forward recently, like, oh, this game was made in 1994 and it's very predictive. I've never seen this game before in my life. And it's like everything. And I'm like, if we know that this is going on and we're having these quantum moments, people are. So I think the quicker we get really good at that, the better. Just with all things involved, because there's just some things right now going on that are just, defy rational explanation, like The Simpsons, things coming up from there. So we know that's real. And
The Simpsons.
Yeah. Make it happen.
yeah, exactly.
Quantum
So I would love
jumping.
that. Mhm.
Quantum jumping.
Do it.
No,
But
okay.
Tom Campbell can explains it very
Yes.
clearly if you want
Yes, he
to
does. Yes, I love him. Yeah.
listen
yes,
to a video or two or three.
yeah, or 10 or 20 or 40.
Yeah.
Raj, go ahead, Raj.
Sorry, Banana was up there too, but I just wanted to respond to
Oh.
Linda. I'm gonna put the
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the Amazon link to the book. It's called Zodiac and the Cell Salts.
Okay.
If I can, man, I wish I was technologically savvy because I can't cut and paste apparently.
Oh, please.
That's okay. I'm just writing it down. So,
There it is, Zodiac Salts of Salvation. It's by George Carey and I forget the other woman's name. And Inez Perry.
Zodiac, Salt, Salvation, George Carey.
Yeah, the Zodiac and the Salts of Salvation. Yeah, it is. It'll change your life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, just in quantum jumping. It was almost 2 years ago now, and I was riding my bike, and I looked down, and then there was no fall or anything. I just looked down, and then the next thing, I'm sitting on the other side of the road. My bike's way over here, and I'm sitting upright, and my wrist was completely broken, and I'm just looking at my wrist going, like, where am I? Like, what happened? And like, oh, this is going to be cool adventure, because I know with my wrist, oh, this is going to be cool adventure. I haven't experienced a broken wrist before, because I want to make it good, right? Positive. But I never have, I was not in the same place that I was a minute ago. Everything was the same, but absolutely nothing was the same. Nothing. And then my husband just started walking out of my life, and everything has changed, and all of you started walking in my life. So we are on the same vibe. Clearly, maybe we all jumped at the same time. I don't know, but it was so, because there was no fall, there was nothing, none of that like was experienced, and nothing was the same. Like the houses look the same, but nothing was the same, and it's cool. And we're doing that all the time. We're jumping back and forth. And so now we're all shifted. We're all on the timeline. The other one is ended. So that's good. We did it. Yes. Now we're the cleanup crew. The love of love. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to say? I don't want to go, but I guess I have to.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
I love all of you. Thank you. That was beautiful.
thank you.
It's amazing, Beth. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, Alicia.
Appreciate
Oh, Alicia.
Thank you.
Did you say something, Alicia?
Yeah, I
Nope.
do need to say
Oh,
something. I
okay.
have a big dentist appointment tomorrow, and I would love some good vibes from all you lovely people. It's a big step for me, showing some self-love to myself, taking care of myself. And I'm really nervous, but it's something I have to do for me.
Could I ask if Faye Marie would have us leave in a beautiful prayer for that healing? Did you do that, Faye Marie?
Okay, we'll all join together in one intention for Alicia. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yes.
Yes.
And we know there is one power and one presence, and that power and that presence is our Creator God, Mother, Father God, all good, omnipotent, omnipresent. And there is no place that there is more God than in you and in each of us. That the spirit and the power of God in you, through you, as you, in that dental experience with the dentist and the assistants and all of the equipment, we see the entire procedure in light and in love. And we see you breathing with calm, knowing that God is working within you, as you, through you, in your highest good for a beautiful beautiful experience that you now are walking into with great faith and courage. And we see you in as, and we see you in love, and we will be sending you more and more love, like a flow of comfort in our arms. And we see you in this as a love experience and just being loved on by God and us. And we say this in the name of God, in the name of all that is true in us and for us. And so it is.
And so it is.
And that was fantastic.
Beautiful, thank you.
Love you, Lucia.
Alicia, you can always sing the Ho'oponopono ditty. Do you know how it goes?
Refresh me, please.
Okay, all right. Well, everybody sing along if you want to, right? I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, and I love you. Keep singing that with joy in your heart, and that pain will go away.
It will. And it will be done.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I love you. I love you, Zena.
I love you.
Sheila. I love you, Fabian. I love you, Jana. I love you, Sarah. I love you, Sean. I love you, Leka. I love you, Rob. I love you, Alicia. I love you, Raj. I love you, Kathy. And I love you, Beth. And I love you, Love. I love you, Love.
Love you all.
Thank you.
Y'all.
I'll see you next week.
Good
I'll see you on
night.
Wednesday.
Love you guys.
Come to Rob. Come to Raj's class on Wednesday. It's gonna be a blast. We're gonna blast out of this world. Bye. I
Love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.